You might hear my cat meowing. Misty has a lot to say about this as well. Hi guys, it's Liz here, and in today's video I want to share a lesson with you that I have had to learn repeatedly. So this starts with, I was talking with a fellow coach. I was talking about how I strongly dislike the idea of business. I love coaching, and I love creating, and I love teaching. But the behind the scenes stuff, the business stuff, is not my cup of tea. And it's a very strong emotion and a belief that I do not like business. And it has kept me, for obvious reasons, stuck. So when it comes to, obviously, running a coaching business, if you don't like business, it's hard to run one. So I was talking, and so I was looking for some kind of advice on how I can at least like business, or at least not hate it. So I was looking for some advice on how to shift, I guess, the belief of disliking the aspects of business that I don't like. And what it came down to, her advice was, well, I don't like Brussels sprouts. I don't need to know the how or the why other people like it. I just don't. It just is. And it reminded me of this lesson that I've learned repeatedly, which is some things just are. They're not good or bad, positive or negative. They just are. Some things just are. Some things are just, and we've decided upon ourselves either individually, but mainly as a society, that some things are just inherently, objectively bad. So things like murder, rape, harming of a child, harming of an animal, certain things are straight up criminal. We've decided they're criminal, but they're also just inherently, ethically, morally, all that jazz, bad. But some things just are. Generally belief systems, right? So a guru of Vedanta taught me via a video that a belief is either helpful or harmful. It is neither, so it's not inherently, good or bad. It is simply helpful or harmful. There are also some beliefs that are neither. Some things just are. They aren't good, they aren't bad, they're just neutral, right? They just are. There are certain beliefs that just are. So when I take a topic or a subject such as business, my belief is what makes it good or bad, positive or negative. But business itself, like the concept of business, just is. It's not good or bad, helpful, harmful, negative, positive. It just is. And this also reminded me of a parable that I'm gonna read to you here. You've probably heard it, but for those who haven't, I'm gonna read this. And it reads, quote, "There's a story about a Chinese farmer who buys a horse. A short while later, the horse runs away. The farmer's neighbor says, 'Oh, that's bad news.' The farmer responds, 'Good news, bad news, who can say?' 3 days later, the horse returns, and with it a herd of wild horses. His neighbor, seeing his good fortune, congratulates him on the good news. The farmer responds, 'Good news, bad news, who can say?' The farmer gifts one of the horses to his son. His son rides it, only to be thrown from its back, badly breaking his leg. 'That's bad news,' says the neighbor. The farmer replies, 'Good news, bad news, who can say?' Days later, the emperor summons every able-bodied young man to fight in the war. The farmer's son is spared. What good news, says the neighbor. The farmer says, good news, bad news, who can say? And it ends there, but the version I have anyways ends there. So that's kind of a shift in perspective, right? That you can perceive something as either good or bad, but it depends. The end of this, which I didn't mention, it says it depends on where the story ends. But it also depends on your perspective of the event. So, yeah, okay. So in the moment, you could say, oh, you broke your leg. That's bad news. But then something can come of it, right? Maybe you fall in love with your nurse, right? And then you go on to get married and have kids and live a wonderful life. For, an example, right? So who knows? So going back to the business thing, which is slightly different, I do understand that, but it comes back to the perspective of it is really what I want. It's really what landed for me and what I suppose I'm hoping lands for you through watching this video. So when you're looking at a belief, yes, certain beliefs, as I covered, are inherently, objectively just wrong. They're just bad. But generally speaking, a belief just is. It can be helpful or harmful, but by and large, the thing in itself just is. And so for me, looking at something such as business, it helped me to shift my perspective and my belief around it being just boring and not fun to being something that just is. It just is. It's not good, not bad. It's not helpful. It's not harmful. It just is. It just is. And so it helps me when I bring that energy to something being just neutral. It makes it so much easier for me to do the thing that before was like I would drag my heels and it felt heavy and just I would put it off and put it off and put it off. But if it's just neutral, you just get it done, right? It's a thing, you just get it done. You don't think much about it. It isn't like, oh, this is fun or this is boring. It just is, so you just get it done, right? And it really helps me personally get through that procrastination and the dragging of the heels and it just feeling heavy. It's a lot lighter when something just is. So that's really all I wanted to talk about in this particular video. I hope you found it helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hey guys, this is Liz in editing. So I realized that while editing this video, that my shift in my belief system of business in itself just being neutral is actually helpful. So I just wanted to say a quick shout out and touche to Swami Tadat Mananda. Well played, sir.